Hi, it's Pania. Welcome back. I have this simple herringbone keychain wristlet I'm going to show you how to make. For this project, I'm using the DMC Cotton Pearl embroidery thread and the color number 436. And then I have a couple of beads that I'm going to use, and this is optional. I also am using a crochet hook size B. You also need a scissor, a beading needle, and a yarn needle, and also a keychain ring or a keychain clasp. For my project today, I'm switching and using a keychain clasp instead, so this is the one that I'm using. To begin my project, I'm going to make a slip knot, then insert the hook into the slip knot and chain 8. And then I'm going to grab my keychain clasp here. I'm going to remove that little ring from the top and turn this around and insert the end of my chain through this hole of the clasp. Then here I'm going to slip stitch back into the first chain, making sure that the chains are not twisted. Then I'm going to chain 1. From here, make a half double crochet chainless foundation stitch back into the chain 1 that was made. And then make 64 more half double crochet chainless foundation stitches. Here I just finished making my last half double crochet chainless foundation stitch. Going to turn my work and chain 1 and then half double crochet into the very first stitch here. Then we'll make a modified herringbone half double crochet stitch in the next. So in order to do that, we'll yarn over, insert the hook into the vertical bar of the very first stitch that was just made, and then insert the hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. And then we'll continue making this modified herringbone half double crochet stitch all the way to the end. And to do that, you yarn over, insert your hook into the vertical bar of the previous stitch, and then into the next stitch. Yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. At the end of this row, you should have a total of 65 stitches. Here I am at my last modified herringbone half double crochet stitch. Here I'm going to bring the bottom of the wristlet here and bring it and attach it to the top by making a slip stitch into the very first stitch of the second row right here, making sure that the right side of the wristlet is facing up. And then slip stitch into the next stitch, which is that last stitch of row 1. From here, we'll chain 8, and then cut your yarn here, leaving about 4 to 6 inches of thread left, and then remove the crochet hook without finishing, and then insert the end of the chains into the loop of the very first chains 8 we made, and also through the keychain clasp. I'm using my crochet hook here to help me pull through the chains. And then slip stitch back into that very last stitch of row 1. Yarn over and pull through. And finally, you can go in and sew in all the loose ends and cut off any excess embroidery thread here. Now that it's nice and clean, I'm going to steam block it so that the wristlet is nice and neat and kept in place. And if you like it plain and simple here, you can just leave it as is and attach your keychain. Otherwise, keep watching the video and we're going to make the bead attachment for your keychain. So here I have my beads kind of lined up however I like here. I'm just using a couple of the smaller beads. I'm using the dark beads and some kind of a warmer kind of smaller beads, and then I have 2 larger flower white beads, 4 of the larger warm beads. Make sure that the last bead is also a little bit larger to kind of keep the beads all together on the embroidery thread. So you can choose however you like, but make sure that you have beads that are large enough to go through your beading needle both ways. So I'm beginning here with my beading needle attached to my embroidery thread and inserting all of the beads onto the thread here. Once I put my last bead on, I'm going to thread my needle through the all of the other beads, skipping the very last one so that this can keep all of the beads on the thread. Then I'm going to cut off my thread, leaving maybe about a foot of thread left so that I can finish my project here. And I'm just measuring how I like my beads to hang on to the clasp. Now I'm going to yarn over my thread as close as I can to the bead, and then insert this hook under the thread that is right on my finger here, and then yarn over and pull through. And that allow me to make 2 loops on my hook here, and then I'm going to pull through that loop that's closest to the hook through the very first loop here so that we can make a chain 1. And then from here I'm going to chain 7 more times. Then here I'm just going to cut off so that it's a little shorter for me to work. I'm not going to finish off yet, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the chains that I just made through my keychain clasp here, and then I'm going to pull it through and make a slip stitch into that first chain that was made. And then finally yarn over and pull through. Again, I'm going to attach my yarn needle and secure in the loose ends. Then cut off the loose end. And here is my simple modified herringbone crochet keychain wristlet. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like my video, please like, comment, and subscribe for more videos.